Good morning, everybody. I am Kelly Walker Slaughter, your host of Warren First 931. It is November the 4th on this beautiful Monday, by the way, even though it was like terrible windy this morning. But as it all goes through, it's all good and gravy. And this is the day before, of course, Halloween, or day before, sorry, I was trying to top something for Halloween, for the election. So again, this is like, gosh, I cannot believe election is here. Tomorrow we're going to have a new president. So good luck to both. Good luck to all. I am going to have some special guests come on the show this morning. We're going to have Brian Carr come in, and then on the phone we're going to have 9 o'clock Susie Davenport. She's over the election commission's office here in Warren County. So any questions you guys have this morning that you may want me to ask Susie, please put them on the comments page. Would be greatly appreciated. Good morning, Tom, all the way on YouTube. If you haven't, shout out to him and his Red 4 reviews. Check them out on YouTube. It's a good watch. It's a good read. But with that said, tomorrow is the day that we have all been waiting for. Again, polls open up just to get out there. I'm going to say it several times. Your precinct, whatever that could be, and if you don't know what it is, please go contact the county or the elections committee office. They can tell you where you are just by telling them your address. But with that said, polls open up, I believe, at 8 a.m. and then they close at 7. Now, if you're still in the line after 7 o'clock, one of the volunteers does come out, and they're going to stand in the line just in case, so they know, like, at 7 o'clock, even though there's like 7 or 8 people still in line, you guys still get to vote. Anybody that comes after that last person, unfortunately, does not. So again, make sure you go to your right precinct, and by doing that, you can go to, you can go on, you can actually download the Go Vote 10 and fill out all your information on that, and it will tell you what your precinct is. But I early voted. I do know, as far as our last numbers that we did turn in, I got from my boy Jeff Barnes. He let us know that there was over, let's see, there was 12,084 people that came out to early vote, which is amazing. I cannot believe that. I'm just so grateful and thankful that everybody came out. I know a couple people still need to go out and vote, and that is absolutely, a-okay, but just get out there, figure out what precinct you are. That's the big one. The big one. Over the weekend, a lot of things went down. Of course, just reversing everything. Sunday, I took a nice little break, but on Saturday, I was privileged to be invited to Perry's Food Ministry in Campaign, and Mr. Perry has been serving people for over 25 years, whether it's donations in, clothing, blankets, but food has been one of the big things. And ever since his shop burnt down a few years ago, he's been serving people food every Saturday at 11 o'clock out of his garage. And out there in Campaign, people have heard about this. And so the Mennonites came out and built him this huge shed fridge with a freezer in there, and now he can just serve the community a lot better and continue in the best way he knows how. And I'm sorry about the lighting today, guys. I'm trying to get it where it's not as bright, but with that said, that's why I didn't even turn on the lights here either. But with that said, was privileged to do that Saturday morning at 10:30 as they did the little ceremony. And of course, Mr. Perry, gosh, he doesn't do this for the attention or like look at me or give me an award. He does this because, like he says in the interview I did with him, which guys get to see that later on this week. He just talks about why he does it, and it's because, God, he felt like God tugging at him, and this is what God wanted him to do, and so he's been doing it ever since. And he says that he's been blessed beyond belief, meeting different walks of life, and just been blessed at home. And he's just never he did tell me a story when he was a kid, and how, that his parents at one point had to some days there was a struggle with food on the table, and as he got older, he didn't want that for other people. So that's why he started doing the food ministry. And it's just a neat story. I got to talk to him. I got to talk to some of the officials out there. Terry Bell was out there, our county executive was out there. And Miss Beth Martin was out there. A lot of people, and you'll see that in the videos that I took. And I want to say they had at least over 35 or 40 people that helped out a lot. And they even had the representative, I think his name was Mark Hobbs. He was out there, and he was the representative for Feed America First. And a lot of those food supplies that was given out that day came from him. So again, it's amazing just what the community does when there's a need for it. But again, you're going to get to see that video later on this week, so stick around for that. But I have such exciting news. This is a blast for the past for me. Come on, Beth. Come on. My good friend Beth is here from the Cannon County Arts Center. I gotta say it. Bleh. And again, I remember her back in my radio days.
Mhm.
She would come with me and Duke actually.
Yes.
And I actually got to see my friend Duke this weekend again. But there's so many cool, neat things happening. Not just here in Warren County, but the places that's connected to us. And so tell us all that's going on, Beth. And first of
There's a
all, thanks
lot.
for coming
Oh, you're
in.
welcome.
You got till 9 o'clock, so you're good. You got 30 minutes if that's what you want. If that's what you want. All right.
There's a lot going on. I picked up some stuff so I'd remember dates.
Okay, go
Let's see.
ahead.
But the next thing coming up is Guys and Dolls.
Okay, what is that?
That is actually an old movie. Of course,
Okay,
this is the play version, but
Yeah.
I think the movie starred Frank Sinatra
Okay.
and
I was gonna say Frank Sinatra.
oh goodness.
And y'all
There's
do a
another
lot
one.
of plays with like the old nostalgia.
Oh yeah,
I
we
noticed.
try to do at least one a year because we try to do something for everybody.
Yeah.
And this is just a fantasy land, kind of has two love stories intermingling, but it's a musical.
Okay.
So
I
you know
love
that
it.
right off the bat.
It's a musical, so if you're not into musicals
Right.
like my husband, but if I volunteer him that he has to come with me, he's gonna watch a musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fun musical, and if you come, you will hear some songs, and you'll go, "Oh, that's where
Yeah.
that's from," because there's songs intermingled in there that you've heard
Yeah.
before all
Yeah.
your life, but you don't realize it's from Guys and Dolls.
Yeah.
But it's a story that's kind of they're crap shooters. They're kind of street people that play. Well, they're very dressed up, but
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, there's a love story between a mission worker and one of the main crap shooters, and then there's a love story between a crap shooter and one of the hot box girls,
Oh.
which is like a showgirl.
Yeah, a burlesque type of show.
Well, we don't do the burlesque,
Yeah.
but
But I get what you're saying. I'm
Yes.
starting to remember that
Yes, and
movie
it's-
very slowly.
and it's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fun things it's fun songs and
Yeah.
never a dull moment.
No, not especially
It is-
out there at the Cannon
no.
County Arts Center.
But this show is a lot of fun. And it starts Friday, November 8th, and runs through the
Oh.
23rd. And so it's Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Okay.
Friday night and Saturday night at 7:30, and Sunday at 2.
And if anybody wants to buy a ticket, probably the easiest is to go on the website,
Yes,
right? Which
at
is what?
Arts, ARTS, centerofcc.com. You can call us at 615-563-2787, or you can go on our Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
And
Look at
click on
y'all.
links. Yeah, and click on links.
Y'all are just adapting. I see y'all got a ton coming up. Can I just
Yes.
steal this from you?
That's 2024. So we've
Oh
only
my
got one thing
gosh.
left. Yeah, we've already done that. This is the last one. Guys and
Oh,
Dolls is the
okay.
last one for the year, except for Elf Jr. which
Just
is a
in
kid's
case,
show.
I just want y'all to know if you missed any of these already happened. They did an Anastasia.
Mhm.
They did The Crucible. They did a SpongeBob musical. They did something rotten that was, I'm assuming, Shakespeare
Yeah, it
inspired.
was to make fun of Shakespeare.
Making fun of Shakespeare. I would have loved to seen that. And then my favorite, Little Shop of
That one was
Horrors.
great.
Oh my
Yes, that's
But
a lot of
if you
people's
missed
favorite.
all these, for shame on you. But there's one more left.
Yep, Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls. I love this.
So next year we have all these.
Oh, you already got next year.
Yeah, we've got next
Look at
year, and you can
you.
buy a season ticket for $80, and that is a
I was going to ask,
good-
do you do a season
Yes,
pass?
it
Because
is a
normally,
great-
if you just buy one, how much is it?
17 for adults and 15 for students and seniors. So it's a great bargain.
Yeah.
You saved over $20 a year. So
is it $80 per person? Is that how that works?
$80 per person. Yes.
Okay.
And we open up with Alice by Heart, which is a brand new show. It's kind of limited as to when we could do it by the rights.
Yeah.
But it's Alice in Wonderland story, sort of. The girl there tells the story by heart because they're in the underground in World War II. So it's not a happy show, but it's
Would it
great.
Be like
It's beautiful. The
Before
music is
Alice
beautiful.
went to Wonderland, kind of like why she got there.
No.
Okay, sorry.
She does the story in Wonderland. I mean, they're underground hiding.
Yeah.
And
she's trying not to give too much away.
Yeah, I'm trying not to give too much away because she tells the story, and so some of the characters are people that are there with her. Okay. So she's kind of
she's everywhere.
Is
it her version of being a Mad Hatter?
There's a Mad Hatter, but then there's a Queen of Hearts and there's a caterpillar, but it's people she's down there with.
Okay.
So she kind of plays all this. She tells the story to somebody who doesn't know it. And all these people become the characters. Okay. I guess that's the best way to put it.
And then what else you got going on?
Oklahoma, which is a lot of people's favorite.
Yes.
Love that show. Newsies, Sweeney Todd, Mousetrap, which is a good mystery. Mm-hmm. And $1 Million Quartet Christmas, which is also a lot of
that is
favorite.
The number one seller right there. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't checked out, though, if you still have the same guys.
Oh, yeah. They'll be the same guys.
I was going to say, they are top notch because not only, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't only sing immaculate, but they also play their instruments
they do.
while they're acting. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's a triple threat. Like, I don't know why they're not in Hollywood yet. You know?
Yeah, they're very good.
Because you always see, I watched this thing, I'm going to go sidetrack it with you. I saw this thing where it was like Nicole Kidman and I can never say her name from Modern Family. Oh my gosh. The wife of, thank you. Sophia. We'll just say that.
Okay.
And they were talking about stuff they lied on their resumes. Mm-hmm. And Sophia said that she could like sing and dance and ice skate, right? And then she said the first role she ever got was to go is ice skating. Oh, and she didn't know how. And then, but she went there and she did it and she pulled it off. And then something about being an opera singer too. And I just like, when you hear guys that are talented like this, mm-hmm. and I'm just like, you should be out there, Mm-hmm. But again, they're here in Warren County, or I should say, Cannon County. Is that right? No, what county are y'all?
Yeah, we're in Cannon. 2 of them are definitely from Cannon. One lives in Nashville, and one actually lives back in South Carolina now, but he'll come back for this.
Oh, yes, he will. Yes, he will. Elvis and all them need to come back. Mm-hmm. But again, if you need any of this information, Beth and them are just a phone call away.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't only just do shows. They do a White Oaks craft fair. Mm-hmm. What else is there? They also offer a side next to it. You can actually go in and see all the beautiful artwork from local artists that's for sale. Mm-hmm.
We have 2 galleries and we have a gift shop. I did bring something that I thought y'all might find interesting from the gift shop.
Okay. What I
don't know if they can see that or not. It's kind of bright.
We have to go in.
You still can't. There you go. Kind of see it there. Heather Mulder works for us and she's also an artist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the new bluegrass stamp that came out, I think in March.
I did not.
She's the one who did that. She was commissioned to do that by the post office. But anyway, this is something she did. Mainly, she kind of was inspired because of the craft fair.
Yeah.
She runs the craft fair. And this is a white oak leaf. And this leaf I actually picked up from the ground.
There you go.
From the ground. I want to specify that.
Uh-huh.
From the white oak tree across from the hospital here. You know, that big, huge, beautiful tree that's there? It's a big, beautiful white oak tree. And so I picked up a leaf from the ground.
And then she made.
I want to make sure everybody knows I did not pick a leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, she printed this, and it's a beautiful little card.
Yeah.
It could be
a blank
thank you card or whatever.
Yeah.
But she also used the same leaf for because at every craft fair there's awards, and so she made the awards also with that. But anyway, she's an artist, and we also have candles that the local person makes those. We have pottery that's beautiful.
Yeah.
No, there's a fly flying around.
They always come in the morning. Just wait.
And we have woodworkers. We have
basket weaving.
We have all kinds of things in there.
Mm-hmm.
Scarves that are dyed, from silk scarves that are dyed. I don't know. I can't even name all of it. It's one of a kind things. It's made by crafters.
And if you have, with Christmas coming up for the holidays, if you're looking for that one of a kind gift for that one of a kind person, because they have everything else.
Yes.
You can go do that. What is this?
This is a holiday bazaar we have coming up.
Oh, look. See? That's it. So you can get your gifts. Okay. Look. There you go.
November 30th.
Okay.
Starts. And it's some of the artists that are in the gift shop, but also a lot of the craft artists that are at White Oak.
Yeah.
They set up booths there'll be 24 this year.
Mm-hmm.
They set up booths in our hall, and they don't man them, but they set them up and leave them for the whole month.
Yeah.
Until we close down. And that's a great place to come holiday shopping. If you want something that nobody has.
Yeah.
Or
this is where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then just go and see all the beautiful artwork. And of course, y'all are located at 1424 John Bragg Highway in Woodbury, Tennessee. And y'all even do concerts now?
Mm-hmm. We're open 10 to 4 Tuesday.
Look at
Saturday.
you.
Yep.
Y'all are staying busy.
We have something.
All the time. Yes.
There's one other one added on this that's not on here, and I believe it's in September. It's Jason Petty.
Okay.
He's from Manchester.
Yeah, I was going to say he's been there a few times now. Is he does the Tom Petty stuff?
No.
Which one?
Jason Petty, he does Hank Williams.
Hank Williams. Okay.
Hank
I couldn't remember.
Jr.
Okay.
Not Hank Williams Jr. I'm so sorry. That is so wrong.
No.
Hank Williams Sr.
Senior.
Yes. So January 11th, we have AR Cash, and it's a tribute to Johnny Cash.
Okay.
And June. Fleetwood Mac, which is Fleat Wood Mac.
Fleet.
So it's a Fleetwood Mac tribute, which somebody at work has heard them and they said they're amazing. Yeah. Piano Men, which is tribute to Billy Joel and Elton John.
Uh-huh.
Music City Stones, Rolling Stones tribute, and Shake, Rattle, and Roll, which is some of the guys from
the
$1 Million Quartet.
Yeah. They do a phenomenal job.
They do. So those are. I know you can't see that really well, but
I got you, boo.
But if you get on our website, you can find all the dates on there, and they're all for sale. You can go ahead and get tickets. Those are different prices because they set their own prices.
Yeah,
they rent the space from us.
Yeah, and then of course you brought everything. I love this,
so I wouldn't forget anything.
I hope you keep everything with me.
Oh yeah,
and then I can use it as filler.
Sure,
thank you. You guys offer a summer program
for kids.
How old does it start?
First grade.
Okay.
Going into first grade.
Okay.
So you could have been in kindergarten the year before.
Yeah.
So first grade through fifth grade, there's 2 sessions. And the first one is June 2nd through the 13th. The second one is June 16th through the 27th. Okay. And it's $200 for the 2 weeks. And we provide lunch.
Okay.
Except sometimes they don't on Fridays because the school does it for us.
Yeah.
But and then there's a performance at the end, and they learn acting, singing, dancing. It's great. I mean, it is a great introduction.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I say introduction, it doesn't have to be an introduction because sometimes we have kids who've been coming there for years.
Yeah.
And if we have a group that is a little more advanced, we gear it towards that. But they're split off into 3 groups. So this is a wonderful opportunity for them. Mm-hmm. And then there's seniors grades 6th through 12th, and it's July 7th through the 18th. I'm sorry, I'm having to turn it to see the back of it.
You're
And it's
fine.
$250 for the 2 weeks. And the kids love it. It's 9 to 3 every day, and with a performance at the end. And
I
sometimes
love
we have
it.
to have 2 performances because we have so many
So
kids.
many, yeah.
Last year we had a lot of kids in this, but we have several teachers and interns, so we're all covered. But it's a lot of fun. My kids grew up doing this from the time they were in first grade all the
Oh, I
way through.
love
So
it.
it's a great thing.
And, you know, speaking of, you know, summer school or summer classes like this, you know, when the summer programs here in Warren County get full because there is a cutoff,
Mhm.
you know, you can call them and be like, hey, my son's really into this, you know. And also, too, I always say that there's nothing wrong with like shaking it up and going somewhere else
Mhm.
to get taught by somebody different.
Oh yeah.
Because different, you know, techniques
Mhm.
everywhere, you know, you got to explore a little bit, as I say.
and this may be something that they don't know they love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I
Mhm.
know that sounds funny, but my youngest was not really into this, but really loved it when he went
Yeah.
into that.
Well, see,
into the
Walker has
class.
slowly been able to get into the classes here, and
Mhm.
he's starting to really enjoy that
Mhm.
aspect. And he likes being on he's done the Seussical,
Mhm.
and he absolutely loved it. He did try out for his first ever audition for the Alice in Wonderland Junior here, but he didn't
Mhm.
make the cut. But there was over, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, there was like almost 100 kids, and they had to nail it down to almost 70 or 80, right? 20 or 30.
Wow.
Okay, I couldn't remember like the numbers.
Mhm.
And so again, and I always tell my son, I go, just because you didn't get this doesn't mean you can't get the next one. There was a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
kids. This was your first ever audition, you know, and
Don't
you,
get discouraged.
no,
Yeah.
no. So I'm just going to keep shoving them in there until he gets it, you know, because I think as parents, that's what we owe our kids. Everything's a learning lesson. We can't just stay at home and think they're going to learn it off of YouTube.
Oh no.
I'm just going to say it now. They can't.
And auditioning is also a learning process. I mean,
Mhm.
it really is. It you get better with each one.
Yeah.
So yeah, just because you don't get the first one should never get discouraged, even if
Yeah.
not the second one. Sometimes people are looking for certain things too. That has nothing to do with how you did
Right.
necessarily.
Exactly. And then they might say, oh, I remember that last audition. He wasn't perfect for this part,
Right.
but I think you would nail this part,
yeah.
you know? And that's what I told them. Just
Mhm.
do your best. That's all you can do. And if they didn't like your best, it's all right.
And also, to me, these classes, and I don't know about. I'm assuming you're talking about part theater
Uh-huh.
classes,
Park theater
and
group.
yeah, and auditioning, it builds confidence.
It does.
So they shouldn't take it as a hard
Slam.
no, yeah, and a
Yeah.
slam, because you're learning how to speak in front of people, how to just
Oh,
handle tough
gosh.
situations.
I always tell my son, you need to know how to, you at least need to learn how to write
Yes.
and how to read and how to count. But when you do stuff like this, I think kids need more public speaking
Mhm. Oh, I
to
do too.
get that. If you have I have an extrovert as a son, so I know he has no problem. But my daughter is a little more timid and shy. But she slowly, as we went to these programs watching Walker practice, she wanted to get out there and jump and dance. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay. So taking your little ones to watch their big brother or big sister
Mhm.
is a great tool to motivate them in the years to come.
Yes.
And I'll say that over and over because my little girl is attached at the hip to me, and she'd be sitting here and just watching me, just like Walk did. And then there'd be a switch that might flip between now and
Mhm.
first grade, and be like, you know, I can do that. That's the whole goal. And if you put your little introvert child into stuff like this at an early age, I think they'll get better.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
And then what's this? Is this something?
This is we have for those of you who don't know, we do have a school matinee series,
Okay.
which is
I did not
for
know that.
public schools.
Okay.
And we have coming up Elf Junior,
Mm-hmm.
but we also have public performances. Is why I'm mentioning it. But schools come to these. We have, let's see, 12 performances for 2 weeks for school groups, and
Oh,
they come.
wow.
Yeah, they come in and out. We have 2 a day, and but like I said, we also have public performances if somebody's interested, and they are much cheaper. They are $10 for adults and $7 for
Okay.
students that come to the public ones.
Yeah.
So we have Elf Junior coming up, and those public performances are December 14th.
Okay.
Then we have Sherlock Holmes coming up and Charlotte's Web in the spring.
Okay.
So I'm just mentioning those because there will be public performances
Yeah.
of those.
But right now, the Elf Jr. is coming up first, of course, and that'd
Yes.
be a nice little kickoff to like a
Christmas.
Christmas little
Yes.
activity to do with your
Mhm.
kids. Even the public performance ones,
Yeah.
just going and seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, any of this information you guys need, you can always go to their website at
artscenterofcc.com, and that's ARTS. I always have
Okay.
to say that 'cause
It's
some
okay.
people don't put the S in there.
I don't. I forget all the time. Is there
It's plural.
anything we forgot to mention? Because there's always so much. Oh, one thing
Yes.
we did not mention was the restaurant.
Oh, Short Mountain Cultures.
Yeah.
Yes, they are attached. They rent a space from us. They've been there a lot of years
Yes, they
now.
have.
And their hours are Wednesday through Sunday, but they are amazing. They have coffee, they have wonderful cookies and
Yeah.
baked goods. She bakes bread every, I think, Saturday and Sunday, fresh bread. But it's like a grocer, but they also have healthier options that you can't get, at least not in Cannon County. You may can
Right.
here, like vegan options.
Yeah.
And they also ferment products. They make kimchi, they make water kefir and
Kombucha.
kefir.
I can't
think
say
it's kefir.
Is it kombucha?
Kombucha. Mhm.
Yeah. I remember the kombucha. If it helps you with your digestive too.
It's supposed to do that. Yes, so is the water. Some people say kefir or kefir. I say
I'll
kefir.
go
I may
with
be
that.
wrong. But anyway, that's also helps your digestive system.
Yeah.
So
And they even have all the kits if you want to make your own stuff at home, I
yes, they do.
remember.
Mhm.
And then they have like, even just little anything in like a simple general store,
Mhm.
with the towels and the everything that is, a recyclable type material.
And they also have produce. They have, some
Mhm.
fresh produce in there. They got in a shipment of some nice, not shipment, it was from Swanee, some nice mushrooms, beautiful
Oh,
mushrooms. So they
wow.
have a lot of things like that you just can't get in the stores locally. Like I said, I'm not sure about McMinnville, but not here.
Yeah.
So, one other thing
Uh-huh.
that's coming up is November 16th. We have a painting class.
Oh.
So we do have classes, and we're going to have one most likely in December to make cards, and it will be Heather just setting one up to make
Yeah.
Christmas cards.
If you want to make homemade Christmas cards, that's going to be
doesn't have to
when?
be Christmas. That one, we don't have that one set up yet,
Okay.
but that will be in December.
Okay.
But the painting class is November 16th, and it's Learn to Paint Like Monet, and it's
Oh.
Jack Labe. He was in Smithville. He's actually moved to McMinnville now.
Okay.
He's
So Warren
working on
County
his studio.
resident. Look at
Yeah.
that.
So he's working on his studio here, but his classes are always great. He's a sweet man,
Yeah.
and he's so patient with everyone and just so helpful. So,
Okay.
but he is a painter by trade. So.
Well, if you can get him to come in the week before, just tell him.
Maybe,
And
I'll
we can
ask
have him and talk.
Yeah, I'll
Why not?
mention that
Or
to him.
on the phone, like I'm going to do here in a few minutes with Miss Susie.
Yeah, I'll
Q.
ask him about that because that would be great.
Yeah.
So I think that's it up until Christmas, and
Okay.
then we start.
And you're always welcome to come back in the Christmas time to reiterate.
Oh yeah, and then I can let you know when this card
Yeah.
class is. Yes.
Please do, and I can put it in our event calendar.
Okay.
But with that said, everybody, I'm so glad Beth's back. I saw her a few weeks ago
Yeah.
now at this event we had at the Milner
Welcome,
Recreation
yeah.
Center, and I saw her girl. I'm like, because I was running late. Imagine that. And I was like, Beth.
Yes, I know. I hadn't seen you in a while.
I
We did
know.
used to come. I used to come at least every month to the radio
Either
station.
it was once a week.
It may have been.
I think it was once every other week or once a week.
it was.
At
It was
least.
often. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's always
I miss-
fun. You
yeah.
can still do that if you want. We'll do once a month.
There you go.
So you can get all your dates in. But I'll make sure, guys, any of the dates that she mentioned today, thank you. Any dates that she mentioned, we will be putting this in our event calendar, as well as you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to follow all this as well. And if you have any questions about what the Cannon County Arts Center is doing, you're always welcome to message me on any of our socials as well as theirs, and I'll get it back to her. Just to, get it. Because, the more we know, the more we grow.
All right.
That's my new saying.
All right.
But thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
I missed you, Beth. I did. I was like,
there went my card.
Hold on.
All right. Sorry. I didn't mean to drop that.
No, this is why it's
Thank you.
live. I go live. It's raw. It happens.
It's okay. But thank you for having me, really.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime.
We'll
I'll see you
again.
later then.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. As I said, and thank you, Jan Johnson, for chiming in with us this morning. It's okay if you're late. We're always a little late. It's Monday. We got new times. It is what it is. Good morning, Miss Kay. Late start this morning. Looking good. Thank you. Thank you. Now, with that said, of course, rolling in with my guest as I always do. Brian, if you're ready, I'm ready. Because we got 9 minutes till we call Miss Susie. So, but of course, we all know tomorrow is the big day. It is election day. And yes, I guess me and Brian again. Look at that.
We got the memo.
Yes. I wanted it to be like red, white, and bluish today.
I got you.
So that's why I'm doing. But with that said, of course, today is like, it's the election eve, right? We could call it. And tomorrow, correct me if I'm wrong, does the polls open up at 7 or 8 tomorrow?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. So I was correct. Somebody was trying to tell me in a text message I was wrong. I was like, no. Now, if you live in Nashville, they may open up at 7.
Yeah, I don't know what they're.
But I don't know. I only know about ours. And I did reiterate this. If you don't know what your precinct is, and you don't want to call Susie and them at the election commission's office, which that would be one of the easiest ways. But you can actually download an app called GoVoteTN, type in your registration information, and it's going to tell you everything from your sample ballot, what you receive, to your destination location of your precinct. Mine is Shellsford Church. But of course, I did early voting. And Brian, how exciting that we had over 12,000 voters show up in early.
That's nearly half my understanding.
Yes.
So that's way to go, Warren County.
Yeah.
This means a lot to you guys, and we're excited to be able to just spread that kind of news around and talk about it. So, good job, Warren County. Let's get the other half tomorrow.
Turn in. Let's go. Show up, show loud, be proud of who you're going to vote for this year. Yes, they're everywhere this morning.
That's all right.
You just got to...
Can't steal my sunshine today.
No, not today. It is too pretty of a day. But no, if you don't know your precinct, go on GoVoteTN. GoVoteTN, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know. And the other thing, I was trying to play with this because I'm going to try to pay attention to it more this time around, Brian. But it looks like, when you type in, it kind of gives you results updates as you go through. Did you see that?
I haven't looked at. I see election results down here towards the bottom,
but see nothing. It's not in there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as it's turning in around the Tennessee area. We should see how Tennessee's going.
Yes,
as live results. And again, you can actually listen to all the live results coverage on tomorrow's show. There will be no podcasting in the morning because as soon as I drop my kids off, I'm going to mark my spot tomorrow. Miss Susie said, Kelly, you don't have to do that. I already have your spot saved, but I'm an early bird. So, but with me and Jeff Barnes is going to be tomorrow, going live at 7:20. Now the show starts with all the commercials at 7 o'clock. And again, I want to say a thank you to all our sponsors and more before I forget, Brian, because I always forget to mention them because I'm so excited. But with that said, my sponsors this year are, of course, Gateway Tire and Service Center, McMinnville Drug Center, Donald Hillis Realty, Citizens Tri-County Bank, Reddick Brown Ford, Tops Frozen Yogurt and Metro Deli. Of course, look at you, already working out. Cumberland Biscuit Company, Paul Holder, Community TV TN, Randall Walker Farms, Juicy's, and Rollins Renovation. I can never say that right. But we still have a couple. I said, I'll call you Monday if you want to do it or not. But I still have 2 or 3 that have been kind of on the fence. They don't know if they want to do it or not. But with that said, we'll be playing their promotional commercials for the first 15-20 minutes between 7 and 7:20. And then right at 7:20, guys, I will tell you this because I was asking Barnes if I was allowed to say it, and he said I could. But where we sit, it's literally right in front of Susie's door at the Election Commission's office. So we are literally the first people to get the numbers first. So if you want to get the results first and fastest and the correct ones, please, please, please tune in to Warren First 931 tomorrow at 7:00 and just get ready. But if you don't want to come here, another outlet is this is opened to everyone. I have stressed this all over weekend, but the Republican Party is hosting it, and you take it away.
All right. So tomorrow night, starting at 6:00 at our historic Park Theater, the Republican Party has rented out the building for the night, and we're having an election watch party, and it's called the Faith and Freedom Election Watch Party, and we have sponsors as well, and I want to make sure that I give them the credit for this. Warrior Precast, Gibson Insurance, Montgomery's Landscaping and Excavation, and McMinnville Lawn and Garden. Thank you all, folks, for being able to sponsor this. This is a free event. This is open to the public. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or
independent,
anywhere in between.
Or if you're a non-voter and you just want to see what the experience is like.
This will be an awesome event because we've got some great events. Or, I'm sorry, we have some great. I'm trying not to say who they are. That's the problem.
They have a great lineup of people showcasing their talent. Everything from musicians to
just musicians. We've got singers. We've got a lot of people scheduled. I just don't want. I don't want to tell. I want to tell, but I don't want to tell.
Okay, it's a secret.
But there's going to be food. You can get concessions through the Park Theater concessions. But it's going to be such an exciting time to watch these ballots roll in. You're going to hear people talk about different things. There's just so much going to be going on. We've never done this before, and we're so excited. Yeah. So we encourage you to come out. It's a free event. Bring your family. Watch democracy in action.
Yeah.
Watch how our representative republic works, and get to meet people. Get to meet your neighbors. This is a community event, so I'm really excited. No matter which way the election swings.
Yeah.
We're still McMinnvillians, Warren Countyans.
Warren County strong, y'all.
That's right. So, and we need, there's going to be, one of my favorite things is we're going to have pastors praying on the hour.
I was going to say,
every hour, we're going to be praying for our community and our nation. And so if you want to see something that's never been done before, to my knowledge, here in Warren County, come down to the Park Theater. Starting at 6:00. We're going to run it from 6 to 9. But if we have to stay later, we got Joe Harvey and them going to stay another hour if we have to.
That's great.
And so we're super excited about that.
And again, as he said that, again, with this being the presidential election, we're going to be having another new president, whether it's former President Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, because those are the two big names that that's been tossed about. And so, and then somebody I'll keep saying this again. Somebody asked me about, well, what about Mr. Kennedy? Is he not running? And I had to reiterate over the weekend to somebody he's the only one, to my knowledge, on the ballot that stepped down and he endorsed Trump. That's all to my knowledge. Everybody else that's running as an independent has not dropped out. They're still in there, and again, I always say, show up, vote. This is an important time for our community and for the whole United States of America, Well,
we're excited about the work that you're going to be doing. Yes. And so we might, tap into you live while we're at it. We may even give you a call and give you a report from the Park Theater.
You can. I'm all about it. Call me on my text me on my phone. Okay. I won't have it on me. I call her my handler. She will have it because my friend Amanda. And again, we're gonna have live update results. Just like my last broadcast, but it's going to be even better. I've worked with a lot of new programs, so she's going to help me with that, with the numbers, because as the media person and talking at the same time, it is very hard to do that. So I've been working very hard over the weekend, getting these commercials and videos done and getting the banners put together. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. And I want y'all to see all the great works that we do here at Warren First, because we are transparent and we take pride in what we do. And again, the combination of me and Barnes doing election coverage is over 38 years. It's actually more than that now. It's close to over 50 years if you put us both together. But Jeff Barnes knows what he's doing. Him and Duke Rice were the ones that taught me that before saying the number, we want to make sure it's right. And that's why I think it's so relevant to be in front of the election commission's office to get those numbers first. Because the thing about Susie and them, some numbers, I will tell you, in some years, we like this. I'll just go with the primary election. It went so smooth, but that's because we had a low, I want to say, I feel like a low voter turnout. But with this election already reaching the halfway mark of our registered voters, because it's a little over in Warren County, we have over 24,000 registered voters. And so with that said, we're going to have a lot more numbers where they're going to have to triple check, quadruple check, whatever before coming out, because this is an important one. You do not need to miss it. The only ones I know that we're probably not going to mention a lot of is, of course, the race for our District 43 state representative, Paul Sherrill. No one was running against him, so we already know he won. And then as far as local goes, to my knowledge, Ryle Chastain is our mayor once again. I don't think he had anybody running against him. So those are the only two that no one was, so we already know when going in and they give us the number for Ryle and or Mr. Sherrill, they already won.
Not opposed.
So, but with everybody else, whether it's this, the senator's position, I think that's what, District 16. I can't remember now without looking.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think without looking at it, but I don't know.
16 or 18. I can't remember right offhand. That's Janice Bowen is the incumbent in that, and I really don't know who's running against her.
So nope.
I am going to our Go Vote TN.
So I was right. Tennessee Senate District 16. Janice Bowen is the Republican, Wayne Steele is the Democrat, and Scott Bean is the Independent. Now, tomorrow's show, I actually got to interview a lot of these folks before the primary election. And so I'm going to replay those videos tomorrow so people can see that. I'm going to actually start them today because there is a lot. But you can see Janice Bowen and Scott Bean were present at my little kickoff party with them. So you get to see interviews with them. As far as the United States House of Representatives District 4, that's, of course, the incumbent, Scott Desjardins. He's the Republican. Victoria Broderick, the Democrat. Didn't she come down to a couple events? She did come down.
Well, she came down for this. It was a forum that they had, but she was the only one who came.
I couldn't remember if it was the Ben Lomond thing or
it was
the
Ben Lomond
paper.
Ben Lomond and the paper were both.
That's there. So
apparently a lot of people didn't know about it, and that's one of the reasons why they didn't have such a high turnout. And really, the aldermen were the only people who really showed up in force, and it was more for them. So.
But if you want to go back, you can go on, I'm assuming, Ben Lomond and or the Southern Standards Facebook page and look those up again and see watch it all over again for the primary. And then, of course, it's going to have to be quick. Okay, Sandy is sick. Okay, we're going to have to call Susie right now. She said it's going to be quick.
Good morning.
Good morning, Susie. How are you?
I am okay.
You're good.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm so sorry to hear about your sick person. I apologize.
Well,
when one's down, it makes it a little crazy. So, real quickly, first and foremost, how excited are you about tomorrow?
I'm excited. I'm real excited for it to be over.
I just want you to be honest, girl. Just be honest. I know it's been really crazy. Talk about, how exciting. I think it's great that we have had over 12,000 people show up for early voting.
It has been a really, really good turnout. Lots of times we figure around 60% of our voters vote early.
Yeah.
That vote. That's not 60% of the registered voters.
Yeah.
Our active registered voters is 24,000 and something. I don't have it right in front of me.
Yeah, it's a little over 25,000. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then our total registration is a little over 25,000.
Okay.
So,
did you see a lot of? And not with names, but did you see a lot of new faces this year?
There were quite a lot. Since the August election, we have processed over 1,200 new registrations.
Yay!
That may be someone who has used to vote and hasn't for years, and now they're back, or it could be, it could be
just or just change of address or something like that.
Warren County.
Yeah.
No, that's not. We've processed a lot of change of addresses.
Okay.
No, that wouldn't be an address change. This was just new voters.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
So we've bumped up our voter base, registered voters, over 1,000 new voters.
That's great.
Over 1,000.
And
so there's a lot of interest.
And we've been telling people all morning long, and I've been telling them since the last election, if you don't know what your precinct is, there's really one easy way to do, and that's to call you guys, right?
The easiest way for you to do it is to call us. You can also go to govotetn.gov, govotetn.gov, and you can look yourself up.
Yeah.
And then if you have problems finding it, just give us a call.
Right.
473-5834.
Because the last thing I know you guys would want to do is somebody standing in that line, and that's the wrong line to be in. I've known some people get really mad about that. So if you did change addresses, and my other question is, if somebody changed addresses and did not fix it, can they still vote?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how that worked.
We'll have to do some paperwork to change your address.
Yeah.
And if you've moved and you don't think you have updated your information, call us. We can't change it now, but we will send you to the right precinct rather than going to the wrong one and then having to go somewhere else.
Gotcha.
It would be good to keep yourself from having to run all over the county.
Correct. And, we were telling everybody earlier today, with this being the presidential ballot this year, people need to be patient, right? Because you guys, you are one reason people love the state of Tennessee is the integrity, correct?
Yes. And that means we check those.
Mm-hmm. And
it makes a difference.
It does make a difference. And so everybody just needs to be patient with the volunteers. People need to be patient with the voting process. Just let them do their things. Some years we've got it done in record timing. Other times we've been up to almost 10, 11 o'clock at night, and that happens. And that's okay.
It's presidential. It may be like you've got more voters out there this time.
Yeah.
So chances are good that in some places there will be lines at 7 o'clock.
Right.
If someone is in line at 7 o'clock, they will get to vote if it's 9 o'clock at night when the end of that line gets there.
Yeah.
If you're in line at 7, you will get to vote.
Right. But if you come after 7 and you see that volunteer out, you don't get to vote.
If you come after 7, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're too late.
It's the rules. Sorry, guys.
It is.
And if you knew you weren't going to make it because of your working late habits, you had 3 locations to go early vote. 3.
I just spoke with a gentleman who was very unhappy that he did not get to go vote, but he never called us till today.
Oh.
He thought early voting was going to be at his precinct, and he went by there 3 or 4 times, and nobody was there, and nobody knew anything about it. But they didn't call us. Please call us, folks.
What's your number in case?
You got the answer.
Exactly. What is your phone number?
473-5834.
So if you ever have any questions about the anything that deals with the election, you need to call the Election Commission's office. Don't call me. Don't call Brian. Call Susie.
They can call you, but when they do, you're going to tell them to call me.
That's correct.
Right.
You can call me, but I'll text you their number. I've done that like 3 times this summer or this year. Yes.
Susie, is there anything else that we can tell and spread good information for you guys so we can watch anything on the front end? Any problems that you see that may come about that we can kind of switch by passing good information?
One thing is There's one thing is that Warren County polls do not open until 8 a.m.
We got it right.
I tease my officers and tell them that sign I give them that says polls are open 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. is so that people will have a place to beat on the door.
There you go.
They post that on the door, and people are still knocking all the time.
I know.
Why are you not open? Why are you not? We don't open till 8. We're not.
I know.
We're not Chattanooga.
Thank you.
We're not Knoxville. We had a radio station in Nashville one day last week that was promoting get out the vote. All polls in Tennessee open at 7 a.m.
No.
No, they don't.
No.
I did talk to some young man there who tried real hard to be helpful. I hope they got the word to the right people.
Yeah.
But I didn't tell him I should know.
Right. I know. I was going to say, how many years does this make you a part of the election commission stuff? How many years running?
Well, I've worked in the office for 20.
Mm-hmm.
I worked in a polling place before that.
Okay.
And I've been the administrator since 2019.
See, you know your stuff. So call them. Don't bother me. Call Susie. Why call me or Brian? Call Susie. Call them. Is there?
You and Brian are sending them to me, right?
Yes.
Tell them to call us. We'll be happy to answer their questions. If they don't know if they're registered or not anymore, call us. We'll look you up.
Yeah. And also, too, piggybacking on that, if you have committed a felony or a crime or something where they told you never could vote again, and there might be, you just didn't read the whole, I know there's some stipulations that make you not be able to, but then there's some that after so many years you can reapply.
It gets a little sticky with the legislation.
Well, that's not exactly right, but that's sort of right.
Yeah, I can't remember how to phrase it, but if you thought that you weren't able to vote because of an act of crime that you've done, call Susie and them, and they can.
That's it. Call us and we'll talk about it. Yeah. There was actually a period of time in Tennessee when a new piece of legislation was written, and it did not say that you lost your right to vote in that piece of legislation. So for about 7 years there, even though you were convicted of a felony, you didn't lose your right to vote.
Okay.
So there's all sorts of ins and outs. Now you do have to get your full rights of citizenship restored before you can ask us to restore your voting rights. Used to, it was a little simpler than that. But now you have to go through the circuit court to get those restored. And then you'll come to us and we'll do a certificate of restoration. All that big process.
Okay.
But there is a process to do it.
And what's your number again? What's your number?
473-5834.
Did you get that, Jessica? 473.
5834.
Yeah, because Jessica Holland said, what's the number? So there you go.
473-5834.
There you go.
Maybe say repeat it 3 times so you can remember it, right?
She said, yes, thank you. I got it.
Good deal.
But anything else we haven't asked or you haven't mentioned before I let you go? Because I know you said it had to be quick.
Well, there was a rumor, another one of those Nashville radio stations saying, be sure you get your receipt whenever you.
No.
We don't do receipts in Tennessee.
No.
That would destroy the privacy of your ballot.
Correct.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No.
So if you were listening to that Nashville radio station and they told you to do that, don't pay any attention to them.
Yeah.
Go listen to the local radio. Listen to Kelly.
Listen to me.
Listen to Kelly. Listen to Justin. Listen to Brian, whoever.
Yeah.
Listen to local people.
Yeah.
They know more about what's going on for you than the ones in Nashville do.
Correct. All right. Well, with that said, Susie, thank you so much. Oh, look, the Warren County Middle School PTO information page. They just wrote it out for you.
Awesome.
Thank you, whoever did that.
That's me.
Oh, that was you.
I wear my
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Now I'm going to post it.
I forgot I was under the Warren County.
I'm like, well, who's under that? But they,
okay.
hey,
Post it all sorts of places. That'd be wonderful.
we're all working together. That's the point. Working together.
Go to our sample ballot on our website,
Mm-hmm.
and the sample ballot is there,
Okay.
so they can do that as well. It was in the paper last Sunday,
Okay.
but it's on the website now. If
Okay.
they want to go there, they can see that.
Okay.
That's the major things.
I think so. Did we mention anything else?
No, Susie, we just want to thank you and Miss Inez
Yes.
and Sandy and all the
Amazing
people
work.
that are
Crazy.
working with you, and thank you guys for all the diligent work that you do.
Mhm.
This is going to be one of the most epic election seasons of all time, and you guys have been nothing but professional. So again, thank you from all the different hats that I wear,
Yes.
and all the different folks here in Warren County. You do a great job. Thank you.
Thank y'all for getting the word out. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, Susie. If y'all need anything, let me know. Yes, I'll see you in the morning. All right, I gotta set my table. All right, love you. Bye. Golly, there we go. See, you just and like she said. Oh, here, let me. So it don't like fall over on you. But like I said, reiterating that, don't listen to Nashville when they're telling you how the election's going to go, because again, for the first two examples, we don't open up at 7. We open at 8 a.m. And then the other thing, the receipts, and the receipts is what she's talking about, is if you have, when you went to early voting with these new machines, you actually can see the paper before you hit the big red button at the end. You can review all the stuff that you entered in the system before sending it off. And then once you do that, it just goes to the next, and
you should hear beeps whenever you hit the red button for the last time. You'll hear beeps, and the paper will process through. So when you leave, no one can see exactly what you voted. Right. It's already progressed to the next person. Yeah. So it's a great system. And guys, we have to have you to like and share these videos on all the platforms, because that's what gets this information out. It does. It increases the algorithm where more people can see what it is. So please comment below, put somebody's name in, tag somebody. Tag 3 of your friends. If you want somebody to know the right information, come here to Warren first, because Kelly does a wonderful job. I try. Look, we're all limited because the world has changed. We used to have just a few outlets. We had the newspaper and whatever was on the 3 channels that everybody had
on the radio at the time, back in the heyday.
And so now we've got so many different forms of media where people can get things, and that's where a lot of things become misinformation. Yeah, because we have so many outlets. No one can really check, and so many people jump into things like podcasting or no, you do such a good job, and that's why having the reliable sources. I mean, going straight to the horse's mouth, and Kelly does a wonderful job.
If I hear something and like they say, well, I heard Brian Carr say blah blah blah, well, you know what I'm gonna do? Hold on one second. And I call Brian. I'm like, did you hear? What did you tell? And then he's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Or I'm prone to saying the wrong thing at times.
And it happens, and it's okay. We're human, and we say things wrong.
Yeah, just ask my wife.
There you go. Bless her heart. That's why we pray for your wife every day.
Thank you. She needs it. On top of being a middle school vice principal.
Yes, for sure. But with that said, again, so many outlets to listen to tomorrow. I know I'm going to be one. I know that Ben Lomond's going to be there. And then the radio, I don't know if the radio is going to be there at the commission's office or stay in the radio station. The only form of media I know that's not going to be there, because now this is what I heard last week, and I apologize if I miss saying it, but I heard it from a reliable source. The Southern Standard won't be there this year. They didn't tag team with with Ben Lomond. So because they said there was already so many media markets, it was going to be very saturated. So they didn't want to, get involved this year. But they will write about it in their newspaper. I mean, but as far as airing it live, play by play, they're not doing that this year like they did last time. But like I said, you can listen to us all day tomorrow. We're going to have, you're going to see promotional videos from the sponsors. You're going to see interviews with the candidates that's on the ballot. And then, of course, right at 7 o'clock, I'm going to reiterate some of those commercials, some of those interviews, and then till 7:20, we're going to start right off the bat with talking about early voting, because that's going to be the first one that comes out initially, until we get all the other precincts. Because I forgot to bring the paper you gave me, Brian. It's on my desk at home, but I think there's how many precincts?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. We probably should have asked.
20. Is there 22? 20? There's a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. It spreads the voters out.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not all congested at one place. Now, city voters, they have a few spots that they can go. I think Christ Community Church back behind McMinnville Funeral Home, I believe that's a spot for city voters. I know downtown.
The chamber opens up. The courthouse opens.
So these are places. And
Bershabe Towers.
With one of the things about city voters, if you own property within the city, you have a special vote that you can make. And then for voters in the city, there's the alderman's race.
Yes.
And the alderman's race is getting hot and heated.
It is.
There's a lot of things going on, and a lot of topics. Zone 3, or Phase 3. Yeah, and you've got people who have different interest in these things. But the money comes from somewhere, and since none of these people are affiliated with, or they are not allowed to run on a platform as far as like Democrat or Republican or anything like that. Now, one of the people is on the Republican Party board, and that's Mr. Stacey Harvey.
Okay.
He is on the board, but he is not running as a Republican because no one runs as a party.
They're not affiliated with parties.
No, not affiliated parties in the alderman race. And so, for the people in McMinnville, that's pretty important because that's where your tax dollars are going, wherever these people decide to spend money. So that's so
you got to vote for the right people. And I've said this millions of times: is it all starts locally.
Yes.
So the only reason that the people like the state senators and the representatives have as much power as they do, it's because we gave that to them, and it all starts with us. So make sure when you decide to pray for whoever the case may be, yes, vote him back in. Somebody said on the Warren County Republican Party. There you go. I'll just post that up right there. But again, you have your people that locally that's been doing a good job. If you like what they've been doing, like Stacey Harvey, vote them back in. If you want change, vote for change. That is what if we were all born the same way, look the same way, dress the same way, it would be a boring world, as I say. And we have to be okay with change. We have to be. Mm-hmm. We don't have to like it, but we can be okay with it. And like doing events like the Republican Party's doing across the street at the Park Theater, where everyone is invited. Like at the end of the day, we need to be Warren County strong.
Yes.
Because if we break, then I feel like our whole other counties are going to break, and then our state will break. It just because it all starts with us. I'm trying to think how to say it in my head. It's there, but I can't get it out.
Well, it's community. It's communal living. We have to live with each other.
Yeah.
We want to do the best for each other that we can. We've got people who work for the government.
Yeah.
There's checks and balances. And that's what I like about having the two-party system, and
yes.
Wish we could have more parties, but it's hard to separate from what we've got right now.
Yeah.
So checks and balances. People aren't aware of the topics that are going on, but it's your money. It's your tax money that's being spent on different projects.
Yeah.
So if you spend money here in McMinnville like I do, although I don't live in the city, I live in the county, but I come in here and I buy tickets to shows and I eat at the restaurants here, and all this money goes back into McMinnville. So you want to make sure that it stays in McMinnville and that you're supporting your neighbors, because whenever and this is a big thing, buying local, we need to keep it local. And we're so thankful for our sponsors that are local entities, local companies. The people that support this podcast are the same people who support jobs here in Warren County. So I come from a background. I had a family member who owned a business here in McMinnville, and you couldn't watch this man step into Walmart. I don't think he's ever stepped into Walmart.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive to live a whole 80 plus years and never go into Walmart.
That's impressive, man. See, and I think that's why everybody looked up to him like they did. Shout out to Mr. Stewart. Rest in peace, man.
Yeah.
Loved him. He had the best stories. And then like when we did radio spots, they were like, it was one of my first ones I did. And they were like, you got to figure out how to cut him off. And I didn't, I refused because his stories were so interesting and how everything was, how to make the ice cream shakes. I mean, because they were so good. So good. They reminded me back in the day when right before it was Dairy Queen, it was something else.
A Dairy Barn, or maybe
I can't remember.
But yeah, McMinnville. Well, that's the beautiful thing. We have legacy here in McMinnville. Yeah. We have people that have sown their roots for generation after generation, and that's what's beautiful about this season, the election cycle. We may not agree on everything, and how can you agree on everything? Right. But you're a neighbor. You're somebody that we know, and so we want to do the best for each other. We want to. That's what makes. Guys. There's so many people moving from out of state to come to places like McMinnville, Tennessee.
Which is great to a point.
But not California or Tennessee.
Yes, thank you. You said it, not me. That's why I always say, like, you move to our town, you move to Tennessee for a reason to get away from whatever was going, whether it was California or Texas or whatnot, wherever you move from. And then you try to bring in your policies, and I'm like, whoa. Why do you think Tennessee's so strong? Just saying.
Yeah, shout out to all our Second Amendment guys.
Yes.
Because they've held the line for so long here in Tennessee. And people, one of the cool things that people, and it's funny, around the world, if you say you're from Tennessee, a lot of people go, Elvis, or they think you're a cowboy of some kind. And it's funny, I was crossing into Canada a few years ago, and when you get to the border, they always ask you, are you carrying any weapons? I said no. Well, the next question they asked me is, do you own any weapons? And I was like, yeah. And he asked how many, and I was like, I think over 60.
I don't keep count.
I don't keep count. He said, oh, you are from Tennessee.
Don't you love that? It's so funny.
Well, we're the land of the free and the home of the brave. And there's a reason for that.
There's a reason. And that's why we want to keep it that way.
Amen.
I always say that. But again, with that said, if you guys that are listening, like you said earlier, tag this video, tag 3 to 5 of your friends. If you have a question, you're welcome to call me or text me at 934-305-0869. You're welcome to call Brian anytime via Facebook, message him and stuff.
Yeah.
You want to give out your number?
Oh, I didn't know. The standard did that to me.
I didn't know. My bad.
And look, I received a phone call from a lady who was asking about her son and if he could get his voting rights restored. And I didn't know exactly. And like Susie was saying, it's kind of sticky. The laws have changed some, and that's not my forte. Guys, I may play an attorney on stage for a show, but I'm not an actual attorney, so I can't tell you what the laws are. But in saying that, we're very blessed in our community to have people like Susie and our election commission that can sort through these things and figure it out. And we're thankful for you and your podcast and Warren 931 and your team, because you have a team of people.
I have a team of people that has done this with me for several years now, even through the radio station. So everybody that does this with me, they know what they're doing. And so that's why I always, even if I'm like, Amanda, where's the number? She's like, give me a minute. I'm not done. Because we want to count to make sure when we put the number out there, it's correct. Because that's just one thing I learned at the radio station through Duke and through Jeff, that we need to be patient and we need to enjoy this process and enjoy this time. And, I always say to reflect, put good vibes out, pray, because things are I know for a fact things are going to change after this election. I don't know how many things are going to change, but something will.
Well, that's why we're having our Faith and Freedom Watch Party, because we want to start right away. We want to start letting people experience the electoral process, what the party platforms are.
The good parts about it, right?
Well, look.
And the bad stuff, it's also good. That's part of it.
Well, look, the newspaper posted an ad, and the ad was somebody's opinion. Hey, You live in the United States. You're allowed to do it. And if you don't like it, or if I don't like it, or if somebody else doesn't like it, that's okay.
It's okay.
We have the freedom to speech. And that's what we're trying to preserve and protect. When you have things like people talking about censorship and things like that, that's a slippery slope. And that means taking away rights. So we want to make sure that everybody has the right to say whatever they want to say. Now, look, there's a certain decorum on how you go about saying things and doing things. But look, if your neighbor has a different political sign in their front yard, still be kind. If you disagree with things, I'm going to guarantee you both probably wear pants. You both probably, drive a car and brush your teeth. Yeah. There's so many more things that you do in common that you are divided on. So we want to impress upon people that this is community. So, oh man, I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
One of the surprises that we have is we've got.
Okay. You know what? You don't have to. I got you. I want to. Let me say my comment before you say your thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. With that said, we can all agree that we all have one thing in common, making sure we are being taken care of, the people are being taken care of, the communities are being taken care of, the nation's being taken care of. We want to feel safe. I want to feel safe. Brian wants to feel safe. Whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, one thing we can count on is we want to make sure that we are being taken care of, or I am being taken care of. And there is nothing wrong with that. So if you think that Trump is going to take care of you, click that box. If you think Miss Kamala Harris is going to take care of you, click on that box. At the end of the day, I say this so many times to everybody, but at the end of the day, we are humans and we want to make sure we take care of ourselves. And if we think that person's going to do the best job, do it. And if they don't in those 2, 3, 4 years, we can fix it in 4. Let me say that before everything gets hectic. Cause again, both candidates have a lot of heat on them. And whatever the outcome is, remember guys, we can fix this in 4 years.
Yeah,
I want to say that.
One of the, and piggybacking on that, Kelly, is that it's not 2 brand new people who have never been in office. These are 2 politicians. Actually, somebody who was president. Most people have lived through 4 years
with him
of the Trump administration. And then people have lived through the last 4 years with the Biden-Harris administration. So it's not like you don't know these people. It's not like, something mysterious is going to happen. But yeah, as Kelly stated, Maslow's hierarchy. You've got to do what makes you feel safe first. And so, look, I think that with all the things that we have here within our community, we're pretty safe. We're very blessed. We've got a great sheriff. We've got a great county executive. We've got really strong people who are county commission.
We have a great backbone. Is what I always say.
And look, we have great churches. We have a lot. Talking about follow up on things, yesterday at the Park Theater, First Baptist Church held their community praise. And I wanted to go so bad, but I was at church.
I saw the photos. It looked amazing yesterday.
So shout out. This is where my segue is for one of the guests, and I'm so excited. But all right. We've got young people that are going to I'll just put it this way. We just talked about First Baptist Church, and we've got young people from First Baptist Church. Their youth praise team is going to be there leading some worship songs. And listen, I've seen these guys. If you haven't seen these guys, See You at the Pole. They led worship. There's so many great young people in that group, but we're so excited to have them going to be on stage at the Park Theater singing songs.
Awesome.
And they're not the only young people that are going to be there. I'm going to keep that to myself. But again, this is not a Republican only. This is just sponsored by the Republican Party. This is a community event. So we got pastors that are coming from the community to pray for the community. We got worship groups that are worshiping for the community. So we are so blessed to be part of this event. We've never done anything like this before. This is not about separation of church and state. This is about the community of McMinnville. So if you're a citizen of Warren County, if you're a citizen of the United States, please come out.
please. And, and don't like judge anybody if they do go to this event, again, it's the freedom that we have. I say that over and over. But with that said, please tune in tomorrow. We're going to have all the live updates and I've put this out there. If any of the candidates are here locally, like Mr. Sherrill or Miss Janice Bolin or anything like that, please come by and talk with us. Me and Jeff would love to hear, all that and jazz. And again, if there's anything, I will put this out here today. If you have any question that you want us to address on tomorrow's show, like what do we think of, Trump's views or, Kamala Harris's views, or what are the platforms, and you want us to address that on the show, I don't care to do that, so it'd be a nice little filler. But I want you, the community, to give me those questions. What do you want to hear besides us talking about numbers and stuff? Because this is your show. The only reason this is successful is because y'all have made it successful. I can't even say it right. But again, thank you, Brian. Have we hit everything?
There's one thing that's happening this week that I want to go ahead and give people a heads up on. I know at the middle school on the 7th, so this Thursday, we're having our parent-teacher conferences. I encourage all parents to be involved. I think the very next week is the high school on the 14th.
Yes, you're right.
So we want to make sure that all parents know about this. One of the things as a parent I don't like is that we're so far into the school year and we're finally having our first parent-teacher conferences. But I guess the first quarter has just ended, and I'm not the one who makes these rules up and everything, but we got to back our teachers. Every teacher that I've been talking to, I've never heard the first teacher say, "Oh, taking away the cell phones was a bad idea."
Nobody has said that.
No, everybody, teachers are being rejuvenated, and thank you to our school board that got the ball rolling on this and supporting it and getting it in. So we're really blessed to have a school board that's making a difference and backing our central office when they make good decisions. We want to praise them for it, and this is a great decision. So thank you, school board. Thank you for our central office. Again, another thing we're going to be praying for tomorrow night is praying for the elected officials here in this community. So please. Come pray with us. Come worship with us. Come celebrate with us. It's going to be
so many opportunities to come celebrate, rejoice, and enjoy and have a good time. Like if you can't enjoy your life or laugh at yourself, what can you do? I'm just saying, live life to the fullest, guys. Live life to the fullest. And with that said, as I will end with this saying, the more we know, the more we can grow. So you have every right, like we've said all day, and then some. If there's policies, platforms, you have every right as a taxpayer, as a voter, to go look and research this information up. Please do that. You have less than 24 hours to do that, and you deserve to know the truth. Look at past debates. See if what Trump said to Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris said to Trump. Is that true? And again, I will say this, the one thing, because now I go on my soapbox about it because I talked about it this morning and I'm going to say it wrong, which is fine, but that's why Brian's here. The one thing I do want everybody to understand is that the state has control over, is it the Roe versus Wade? I want to say it right. The states have control of that right now.
Yes, it was overturned by the Supreme Court to the states. So it's a states' right thing. So
my confusion with that, and somebody can if they want to buzz on here, is do you want, our president, them to have it back again? Because I think it should stay in the states. Well, but that's just me. And I had to say that because it's on my mind, because that's one thing that's getting confused.
One thing that people need to know is a president cannot make any law. They cannot make any federal law. That's got to come from the Congress, the judiciary, the Supreme Court. They can't make any law. They can make determinants and determine if a law is constitutional or not. Yeah. But the only place that can make it are our elected representatives in Congress. Yeah. They're the ones who can make law. So by kicking it back out to the states, some states are more one way than the other. And I don't want to say liberal or conservative. Yeah. I don't want to pigeonhole anybody. The thing is giving it back to the states is a very fundamental right of what we call a constitutional republic. So we are a union, a republic of different states. So allowing the states to decide this is the most constitutional thing that you can actually do.
Because Steve, to me, like if you bump it back to let the congressmen decide the new law, half of them don't know how Tennessee works. Why would you want them to make a decision and they don't live in Tennessee?
Yeah. And what's funny, what's interesting on this ballot, not here in Tennessee, but in other states, like you go to Arizona, they have they're wanting to secure and increase their abortion laws. So they've got laws. And so we don't have that here on the ballot in Tennessee, but other states are continuing with this. And so that's a state's
They're in
right.
support of. Well, like other states are supportive about
some
this.
States are running, are actually letting people vote on laws or where they see things, especially when it comes to abortion. So Tennessee's not doing that in this election cycle. It may happen in the future, but so people have to understand that the president can't make any law. They make executive orders.
Whether it's Kamala Harris or Trump in this next run, they can't make a law.
Now, what they can do is encourage lawmakers, the Congress, to vote one way or the other, and that's what made Kamala Harris as vice president, her job was so important because she was the deciding vote. Because guys, our Senate is very split, almost right down the middle. So she was a deciding vote on a lot of issues. And so she's been very active in government. And so you got to look back and look at the votes that she made on the decisions, the laws that they passed and enacted. So there's a lot of information out there.
You just got to look it up. And I just wanted to mention that because I keep getting filled like Tug, mention it. Because for the past month and a half, that's the only thing I've heard, and it's to the point for me, because I will tell you, scientifically proven, if you hear something 60 times, it starts messing with you. Like you're starting to believe it. And so that's why you owe it to yourself to look these things up and to find clarity. When you ask, you shall receive, as I say. And so again, if y'all have any questions about what's going on in the platforms or the campaigns on both sides, feel free and message me and I will find out the information and send it to you if you don't have the time. Because I feel like the more we know, the more we can grow in the right way. Because if you get the wrong information, or I say misfed, you will never grow. And I'm a nurseryman's daughter, so I can use these terms all day. So, but with that said, Brian, thank you once again for coming in. Guys, be listening tomorrow as we get geared up for the election 2024 and see which president's going to be taking us over. And then also be looking for our newsletter as well, where we're going to have some stuff in there, talking about the election coming up, talking about the past things. If you missed the 150th birthday at the First National Bank, that was over the weekend. There was also, I talked about a little bit before Beth came in. I don't know if you got to hear about it. Perry's Food Ministry. Yes. Mr. Perry has been a pivotal staple in this community for over 25 years, supporting and helping everybody in need. And it's like he told me, when you get his food ministry, you don't come in with a card and say, this is why I need the food. No, there's no judgment. If I had a bad week and I didn't get paid and I need help with groceries, I can be in the line. It is open to anyone and everyone every Saturday at 11 o'clock in Campaign. If you want more details on the address, I'll send it to you. But we're also going to be doing a write-up article in there. But I also did a video interview, which you can see on our Warren First Facebook page and Instagram page as well. And then I was trying to think of anything else. I went to 2 other events, but I'm going to blank. And that's what happens. But with that said, take care. God bless. Enjoy the rest of your day. And don't forget, voting opens up tomorrow at... Oh my gosh, are you about to say the wrong time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock to 7 p.m.
8 o'clock.
Thank you. 8 to 7 p.m. tomorrow at your precinct. And if you don't know your precinct, call her. Call Susie and them at 473. I'm going to get it. Watch this. 5834.
Yes.
So call and find out your precinct. And with that said, take care. God bless. And remember, Warren County, keep it fun.